This is
Throwing Shade, where feminasty Aaron Gibson
and homosensual Brian Safi
take a look at the headlines in politics
and pop culture
and treat them with much less respect than they deserve.
Can you handle it? Bienvenidos, Miami.
I am speechless.
Yeah.
We just got back from Miami. We took separate flights.
To
you
Miami.
said you wanted to stay a few hours later than I did, and I don't know what happened in those few hours.
I got all my panties.
What?
I got new panties.
That doesn't explain any of this.
Classy panties, classy hat, classy top. I went to all the clubs. I went to Smash. I went to Squirt. I went to...
Squirt?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I went to Te Amo.
Uh-huh.
I went to Shots.
Yeah.
With a Z.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
Well, you clearly got a tan.
How was Trevor Project?
Oh, it was great. Yeah.
You rode on the Trevor Project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not how you say it, but it doesn't matter.
It's not a French thing?
No. Well, you know what? Maybe the French say it that way.
Oh, yeah.
You're probably right.
They say Trevor.
They just add an A to all the ends of words.
That's all you have to do.
I love your hat, A.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
You should go to Paris with that act.
I've been.
Oh, you have?
They love me in Paris. I'll never forget. I played the Louvre. I stood right in front of the Mona Lisa and I did knock jokes and everyone was taking my picture.
The Mona Lisa's in the Louvre?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan Brown. I should know.
You should know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so fun. Then I did jokes about Mona Lisa. You know my
Smile?
20-minute Mona Lisa smile routine? Where I'm like, Julie Roberts and Kirsten Dunst walked into a bar. What'd they talk about? Nothing.
Nothing.
The pillow they saw once
They just
in
complimented
CB2.
They
Yeah.
just complimented each other's eyelashes.
Yeah. They talked about a horse they rode.
Oh my God, do you want to hear a travesty that happened to me this weekend? And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about this outfit. So I went to go get dim sum on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that like slang for dick?
Oh, yeah, I went to go get some dim sum,
To go
you
get
know.
some.
Oh, I see.
Get
yeah.
it? Well, you
I
know that
do.
thing where people put balls in soy sauce and then feed them?
Sorry, rice balls or real balls?
No. Like when a guy will dip his balls in soy sauce.
And
then
feed them to who?
A man or a woman, like a tea bag.
Consensually?
And then the person keeps saying soy delicious while that's happening.
Yes, I do know about
It's
that.
like that.
I had forgotten, but now I remember.
It's like that.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, no problem. So you were saying.
Oh, went to dim sum.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who I went on like 4 dates with, but
Okay.
he just never called me again. I don't know why.
Huh.
And I was dressed like this.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
On the fourth date?
On the 4th day, I was like,
Yeah.
you should know who I really am.
Yeah.
This person.
On the 4th day of dating, this is what I wear. Yeah.
Okay, so long story short, that I haven't even started. Went to dim sum.
Yeah.
It's very hard at Pine and Crane to get a table for 8 people because they're tiny.
I hope
tiny.
everyone heard that. It's very hard at Pine and Crane.
Things are tough for me right now.
I love that place.
That
by
place
the
is
way.
great, but it's always crowded.
It is always
It was
crowded.
a Saturday. We thought,
Yeah.
oh, we'll go at 6 and it'll be fine. It wasn't. So we had to wait for 2 tables. But what happened was the family style table in the middle had a few seats that opened up. So we were like, oh, we should sit there. Some people will finish and then we'll have the whole place.
Right.
We'll just squeeze in for now. But at the head of the table was this guy I had been on 4 dates with. And I was like being very weird. I was like, let's just wait for a table. Like we don't need to, because I would be sitting right next to him.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
God.
And then I started going down the road of like, well, he never called me. I'm clearly like, I'm the deadliest catch. You know what I
Right.
mean? I
Yeah.
mean that in a good way. 'cause
Okay,
then
I
you
wasn't
could
sure which.
do a whole TV series about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess. Would you call it that? That might be I
A
don't
TV
know.
series?
Yeah.
Well, it's not TV.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
So then I had to tell my boyfriend was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I went on like 4 dates with that guy. And he was like, did you sleep with him? And I was like, no.
Well, yeah.
I put his dick in my mouth.
Right.
And
I hope
I
you said
would-
that. You said that to your boyfriend.
I
right
didn't
after,
say it
right?
to him.
Did you write it to him?
I said, connoisseur, can I have a napkin? And then I just...
okay.
There's a wine connoisseur who works there.
Oh.
And I just wrote, I sucked that guy's dick, and I passed it to my boyfriend.
Yeah.
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 And then I went,
Oh yeah. If you make a funny face, then it's probably
it's
worth
so
it.
funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, kept being weird and kept looking over to him and be like, does he recognize me? Is he weirded out that I'm here with my boyfriend? And so anyway, I went home and I was like looking at my Instagram, and I had posted a couple weeks ago a picture of my grandpa when he was in his, 20s. Mm-hmm. The guy I went on 4 dates with
Favorited.
looks
liked.
exactly like my grandfather.
Oh wow.
I'm not even joking. I was looking at my grandfather and going, I sucked a guy's dick who looks like my grandpa. And I have been sick all weekend.
Oh man, that's rough.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone down on a guy who looks like your mom? So the Supreme Court is right now hearing a case about pregnancy discrimination. I don't know if you know about this. You do a Google alarm for pregnancy, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime a woman gets pregnant, it alerts my phone. And
Your phone must be...
You don't even know, because it's for worldwide. It's not even just for America.
Oh, my God.
I haven't slept in approximately 3 years.
Oh, because of your...
Which is when I put on the Google alert.
You know what? Honestly, thank you so much for putting your phone on
welcome.
silence, because, like, what I wouldn't be able to do.
No, nothing brings me more joy than to look at pictures of, babies on,
Yeah.
Facebook and in hospitals.
Well, you were Aunt Geddes' apprentice.
I was.
What happened?
I don't know. I did one wrong move. I cooked the spinach before I put the baby in it. And so then it just stuck to the baby.
It was so wilted.
It was very wilted. It
Yeah.
didn't end well.
Okay, so Peggy Young was working for UPS for 4 years and she got knocked up. She went to the doctor and the doctor said, you can't lift anything over 20 pounds, which wasn't really a problem because Peggy was on... Her route was somehow she had just a lot of envelopes and small packages.
Mm-hmm.
She had a friend who was going to help her lift anything over 70 pounds, which is what you're required to lift as a UPS driver. So she gives her letter to her manager and they're like, hey, we know about your thing of having a friend help out. That's great. You're fired without leave because we don't make exemptions for pregnant women. She went on unpaid maternity leave, which also left her without insurance. Went back to work to UPS 2 months after she gave birth and then worked there for 2009. That's when she found out, like, oh, I guess what they did to me was wrong.
Right.
The whole case, first of all, it went through all the courts. The U.S. Court of Appeals, which was, I guess is the last step before you go to the Supreme Court, compared the situation to a father who injures his back picking up his child and that he wouldn't be offered light duty, so why should she?
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And awful?
Because also it's like saying, like, you can't get pregnant while you're at this job. It just doesn't make
That's
any
exactly
sense.
what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're using it. Okay, so there's a couple acts you have to understand. The Americans with Disability Act, which does not cover pregnancy because it's not a disability. And then the Pregnancy Discrimination Act of 1978, which Congress had to pass because the Supreme Court decided that General Electric didn't violate civil rights law by not covering pregnancy-related disabilities as part of their disabilities plan. Basically, before the Pregnancy Discrimination Act of 1978, you could get fired for being pregnant. Mm-hmm. Period. End of story. So it's in the Supreme Court's hands. Elena Kagan said about, in one of her statements, said, or while they were discussing the case, she said, for the democratic process to work as it should, the PDA, which is the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, has to be given a fair reading.
That's not what I know PDA as.
What do you think it is?
Being in Corpus Christi, walking along the streets and
there are streets in Corpus Christi.
Opening your mouth and waiting for another mouth to put their mouth in it.
Their mouth in it.
PDA.
Just putting mouths in other mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Corpus Christi. Snowstorm, locked in.
Is Corpus Christi a person in this case?
I'll never forget him. We happened to be in Solvang.
Oh, you were in Solvang.
Yeah, it took place in Solvang, but I'm sorry, but that's the PDA
that you're used
to. Familiar with.
How many times do you ejaculate into your own pants on a daily basis?
That's why I can't take these pants off.
Oh, because they're
stuck.
They're glued to you.
They are stuck.
Oh, I see. So UPS has announced plans to accommodate pregnant workers in 2015, which, by the way, they could have saved millions of dollars in legal fees if they would have just written something that was like, oh, here's how we're going to deal with pregnant women employment under our brown umbrella.
Right.
Or whatever. Is it a brown umbrella?
Their logo?
Their symbols?
I don't know.
Yeah. Everybody has a mom. Right? Mm-hmm. Some people have wives, some people have sisters. Why it never crosses anyone's mind of like, what if
mom lost her job with UPS, which is horrible.
With a baby on the way.
Yeah.
We should as a country just make a fucking decision that we're going to be cool with working moms and we're going to help them.
Yeah.
Because they oftentimes don't ask for help. We won't know what happens until June, I think, is when they rule. I don't know why.
I'll be at the beach by then.
I hope that the conservative judges will see in their tiny Grinch hearts to do the right thing.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. But it's great that people with no brains are handling it because that's insane.
Well, the fact that in the 70s the Supreme Court was like, no, you should be able to fire pregnant people, and the Congress was like, excuse me, bitch.
Yeah.
So it's sad that we even have to talk about this these days. But just if you see a pregnant lady, be cool with her and don't touch her belly. It's none of your business.
I believe the da-da-da-da-dee-da. Well, great news out of Arizona. And
that's I don't believe you.
No, you shouldn't believe me. Arizona has once again produced one of the world's foremost comedians in the shape of Pastor Steven Anderson, who runs a church there called the Faithful Word Baptist Church. This guy is like total Looney Tune, and it's Michelangelo Signorelli did a great piece on this in the Huffington Post, and he put it really well, that this guy is like Fred Phelps and the Westboro Baptist Church people, except that this guy actually has a congregation, not just like a family who's crazy.
Like a fringe people who
exactly.
like, yeah.
This is people listen to this guy. He said a lot of crazy things. The most recent one, and I'll go through a couple of the other ones. He said, there's great news for Christmas. He has the cure for
Santa
AIDS.
Claus?
He has the cure for AIDS, and that we can have an AIDS-free world by Christmas.
This Christmas,
AIDS-free. And he said that it was right there in the Bible all along about how to cure this. He said if you execute homos like God recommends, you wouldn't have AIDS running rampant. So that's a really simple solution to an enormous problem.
Is that the same cure for cancer
Yeah.
and the common cold and
exactly.
What else do straight people get?
Well, they get
Hep
AIDS.
C.
AIDS is something straight people get.
AIDS, yeah.
He says that members of the gay community are filled with disease because of the judgment of God. I like that he, I think, said members of the gay community. That does not sound like a phrase he would say.
Members of the gay
No,
community?
he would just
like
fully
that's almost
be like,
too nice.
Exactly. He said they're filled with disease because of the judgment of God, and anyone who's a homo or bi, it's really all the same category.
So how does he justify? Now I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Someone with like, I don't know, Parkinson's or Rube Goldberg's disease. Is that a thing?
I don't think that's a thing.
Where your disease is you can't stop hitting objects that then hit other objects?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like how do you justify that?
I don't write the jokes. I just tell them.
Oh, right. Sorry.
So on the church website, it writes this about him, which is great. He doesn't hold a college degree, but has well over 140 chapters of the Bible memorized word for word. So earlier this year, he said that remarriage, this is just other crazy things. He said besides that gay people should be executed.
Oh, okay.
That remarriage is adultery. So if you get divorced and then remarry, it's adultery.
This guy has human sex trafficking victims in his basement.
Oh, for sure.
He's like.
He also argued in favor of keeping women silent in church, so they can go to church and they can sing the hymns. So they don't have to be, because women have such beautiful voices, so they can sing the hymns. But the women, they can't say amen after a prayer. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. So I guess
meet you in the alleyway. It's 3:00.
So I guess a woman
with
who
this gun.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just gonna kiss my arm in front of him.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I'm not threatening
violence. And just
violence.
walk away and be like, message delivered.
Message delivered.
Yeah. Well, so Michelangelo Signorelli, who, as many people know, is a gay activist and a reporter and everything else in the world.
And has one of the finest Italian names of all Italian Americans.
Name. Well, I guess he met this guy.
On Craigslist?
No. But not far off. No, and Steven Anderson called him a child molester. And I guess Michelangelo Signorelli said, like, do you really think I'm a child molester? And he was like, yeah, I definitely do. And very casually was like, I wish you were dead and that you get brain cancer like Ted Kennedy. Yeah. But this is how dangerous this guy is. Also from Michelangelo Signorelli. In 2009, Anderson gave a sermon called Why I Hate Barack Obama, which would have been, I guess, the year Barack Obama took office. And he said...
Did he just say he is black, period, and then he walked away?
God hates Barack Obama. I hate Barack Obama. And this was the night before the president was going to visit, like, the Tempe, Arizona area. I think that might have been on the same visit where Jan Brewer shook her finger. It might have been...
She came off the airplane and she was just like...
It could have been. So Anderson sent some congregants to go see the president speak, even though he said he couldn't go. So a few days later, it was reported that a man from the congregation, this guy Christopher Broughton, brought a loaded rifle to this speech and was like one of Anderson's hardcore followers.
That's Branch Davidian shit. I'm not into that.
He's also wished for death by brain cancer for President Obama.
Why is he sicking brain cancer on everybody?
And wants gay people to have brain cancer too.
Aren't things bad enough for gay people?
So I know. So this Phoenix TV station KPNX, their anchor Mark Curtis did an interview with him. And I was of two minds about this. Like, I thought, like, why give this guy any more press? But I also think, like, the more that people hear about these kinds of people, the more they're aware of how dangerous they can be. So, no offense, I just thought we could freshen this place up a little bit. So I thought that he could maybe be our third co-host from now on.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And we could still talk about what we talk about, but then we'd let him, we just get another perspective.
Well, I just think what we should do is put him in as a Santa Claus and just have children sitting on his laps and just, like, have him spread the word through the, small children minds.
If our show were really, really big and millions of people listen to it, I bet there are conservative people who think we're like him.
What?
Who I bet you there would be, who would be like, those people are crazy about us.
They're crazy about us?
Never mind. Just forget I made the point.
No, but...
And no one told me anything about these being unbuttoned. The whole time I've been here.